This is Marcus, and today I am here to tell you how to build up this Android navigation bar. But before, I will explain you a concept called atomic design. Perhaps you are familiar with that. If you are not, that's okay. You are going to learn, but if you know this thing, this concept, but you can stay here anyway. Um, I'm using Figma. Figma is a free tool for personal use. I recommend you to use Figma. We can build up applications, not the real applications, but we can build up the interfaces like for mobile, for desktop. We can choose like hybrid applications or native iOS, Android, and so on. All right, let's go ahead. So we have this Android navigation bar. It's formed by four things. We have one icon, one icon, one icon, and one container. These four things together, they form this Android navigation bar. It's a component of Android, all right? But on iOS applications, there are things similar, but here I'm talking specifically about Android. So let's go ahead. Like I said before, I'm using Figma to do that. So now let's jump into this concept. Like I said before, it's named Atomic Design. It was created by Brad Frost a couple of years ago, and he is doing a chemistry to explain design. It's quite interesting. So we have the smallest parts of the interfaces. They are named atoms. So atoms that might be icons. An icon. One icon is an atom. Text, image. Let me see which more. Small parts. Let's think like that. When I combine many atoms, I will have a molecule. And then when I combine many molecules, I'm gonna have an organism. And then with many organisms, I will have a template and finally a page. That is a little complicated, and I know that, just explaining with an image. So let's go ahead to see more in details. Here we have these examples. I took the first example, the first image, the Android navigation bar, and then I split that in many parts. So I have here one atom. This icon is an atom. This other icon, this another icon is an atom. This another icon is an atom. In this shape, this rectangle, this container, it's an atom too. And combining them all together, we have the Android navigation bar. Here we have another example, another bar. It's not the Android navigation bar, it's the nav bar. While the Android navigation bar is placed in the bottom, right? The nav bar is placed upper on my screen. So we have here one icon, it's an atom. This text, it's an atom. Another icon, it's an atom. And then this rectangle, this container, another atom. Let's go down. We have this block of text. I can consider that an atom as well. And here I have this placeholder for image. It means that I don't have an image yet. In the future, I will have an image. It will be in this shape, will be rounded, some ellipse. And it's an atom too. Same thing for text. It's not Portuguese, it's not English, Spanish, it's Lorem Ipsum. I don't know if you are familiar with Lorem Ipsum, but it's Latin, a dyed language. So let's go ahead. We got this point about atoms. And then, like I said before, when we combine many atoms, like here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 atoms combined, we have a molecule. And then when we combine more than one molecule, like here, I have this Android navigation bar, and I have this nav bar, like I said before, and combining then we have an organism. An organism is formed by many atoms and many molecules. Then going ahead, finally we have a template. A template is not a page because it doesn't have real data. Like here, it's not a title, just text. It's not an image, just a placeholder. This text is not real, it's just a placeholder. And I have this bar. All right, so this is a template of a single and simple page. Then going ahead, finally we have a page. Let's compare a page with a template. Let's put them together side by side, and now we can see better. All right, see the difference. Text, Brazil's page. Image, a real image. Text, 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 and real text. So this is the difference, a template and a page. All right, I quite believe that you got my point. So let's go ahead. We have many things to see. And each small part, it's not just an icon, for example, or a rectangle. It has many properties, and we are going to call that anatomy, okay? Anatomy. So let's understand a little more. For this rectangle, we have a color, right? It's black. We have the opacity, like 100%, 0%. Sometimes the shape can have a stroke, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And the stroke, it has a color. This shape has width and height. So the shape has this width and height. A padding, which means internal spaces, and margin, it's wrong here, external spaces. So we have these basic properties. Let me just delete this letter, it's too much. All right, so we have these properties like I was telling before. All right, for each small element, for each atom, when I'm talking about icons, same thing, like color, opacity, stroke size, stroke color, width, height, padding, margin. Same thing for the other icon, and so on. And for image as well. But here, like I said before, I will not talk about image, for instance, or text properties. I'm gonna just explain in this tutorial how to build up the Android navigation bar, right? So I said before that I'm using Figma, but I'm using a sort of expert mode. You are not seeing my toolbars, so I will right click here, and I will go with this one, show hide UI. And now I can see things that can help me to go on. I have here this toolbar. I have another toolbar here, another toolbar here. This one is called properties panel, properties panel or inspector panel. Here I have my main area in this place, and over here this toolbar with the most important items, like, oh, I have to insert something like a shape. I have this tool right here, and here it's a panel of layers, so I can see all the layers that I have. But don't worry, I'm gonna explain that in details. Don't be afraid. So let's talk a little about these properties. So when I click here, I can see this color. So this panel is used to change the properties of the element. Like I said, the color is black. I can click here in this little swatch and I will see that. So color, I can change the color just clicking in the place that I want. I can move this thing here as well to change the color. And I'm gonna go with black. Black is more used to draw Android navigation bars. And the color here. So here is other place that we can see like the opacity, like I said before, that can be 0 or 100%, right? So the color is gonna be black. We have here, we can type like black color, something like that, black. But it's not usual. The usual thing is to use hexa colors like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So the black color, normally we use hashtags and then we type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So when the developer will see this color, he knows that it's a black color. So now talking about the opacity, it's 100%. You can see here that could be like 50%, you know. When that is 50%, you can move around this shape, like click, hold and drag. You can see that it's possible to see things under this shape, right? 50%. And then when I come here again and I change it to 100% again, we will have the color like that. So let's type the opacity. I'm pressing Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. 100%. Right. So opacity 100. I'm sorry. 100%. Stroke size. What the hell is the stroke size? Click here one time, and then we have here the stroke. The stroke by default is black. I can change its color like red. Now you can see I can increase or decrease its thickness, its size. It's going inside. I can change here to center or outside. But in our case, I don't want to use stroke, so I will click here in this minus sign and the stroke doesn't exist anymore. So when I don't have this property, I can type like none, for instance, or I can delete this line. It's usual, it's normal, people do that as well. So I will type none, and the stroke color none as well, because I don't have a stroke, so I don't have stroke color. Now let's talk about the width. I will click here, and in this panel, like I said, it's the inspector, it's the property panel, and I have these properties like 320. It's the width. I can change it like, okay, let's suppose 20. All right, and I will press Ctrl Z. That would be larger, like this one, 480, like this. Ctrl Z. So we have this property, and then the height is 49. I can change like 20. That would be 10, you know. I will put like 48. something like that, just to train. So now we have the properties. We can type or we can click here, right button, copy. We can come here and paste. I didn't tell you how to insert texts. So to do that, you can come here and click this tool, T. You can see as well a shortcut. I can just come here and press T and then press here and start typing. Now you know. Use the shortcuts or just click here and then click here and start typing and just go on. So the height was 48. I can come here and type, or I can click here, come here, right button, copy, and then here in the height line I will just right button and paste here. Oops, wrong. So, or Control C, Control V works the same. And we have padding. What the hell is padding? Padding is the internal margin. So let's suppose that I want things to be this way. Let me show you. I will draw a rectangle inside of here. I will come here in these two shape tools. I will open and then I will click on rectangle or simply pressing R. Then I will draw like this. I will put the same width, 320. To zoom in and zoom out, I will press and hold Control and then plus or minus, plus or minus, plus or minus. Then I can press the space bar, hold, then I click, left click, and then I can move around. So with these shortcuts, I can zoom in, zoom out, and move. I'm not moving things. To move things, I just click on the things and then I move. I am just moving my visualization, all right? So I will click here. I can use as well the arrows on my keyboard, like I can move this way to be precise. Just up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, right arrow, and so on. I will change this color from gray to blue, like this light blue, pretty light blue. And then I will change this opacity. I will put like 32 for instance. Then I will click here. I will press Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So I did a copy and paste. And then I go to my keyboard and we will go down, like arrow down, arrow down, arrow down. If I press Shift, I will go like 10, 10, 10, or 8, 8, 8. Depends on your Figma's configuration. Right, so I have it here. This size, I will type here like 16, for instance, like 8. 8 will be good. 8 here. 8 here, height, all right. Then I will go arrow down, arrow down, arrow down. So I will have this one. Then I will go closer. I will click here, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I will decrease this width to 8, and the height will be 48. And then I will click here, copy and paste, and then I will move. I will zoom in. I will go to my keyboard and I will move using arrows like right, right, up, 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 up. That's perfect. So this is the padding. When I will place these icons inside of this space, I have to consider this padding, all right? This internal spacing system. I can increase that as well, like 8 perhaps is not good. I will use 8, then 8, 8. So this is a good spacing system, like it's 8. I will change to 16. I will set correctly 16 here as well. Here and here the same, 16 and 16 here too. So I will have this internal space. That means my icons, they have to fit in this black space, all right? So I have here the padding. The padding we can type like, for instance, we can type like top, right, bottom, and left. Top, because they can be different, depends on the situation. Okay, bottom and left, they are the same, but like I said before, depending on the situation, they can be different. Right, they are like 16 pixels, but I don't have to type it here, just 16 will be good. 16, it depends on the way you are working. Perhaps some developers, they can ask you like, oh, can you do this specification better, like including pixels, you know, but some of them, they don't care. All right, so we have the padding top, padding right, padding bottom, and padding left. That's great. And then we have margins. Margins, they are the same. Let me explain what a margin is. Margin is the space out of the component. Like here, let's suppose that this text is not here, here. This template. Let's suppose that I want to consider a space here, like 16 as well, or more. I'm doing like I'm multiplying 8 by 8 by 8. This measure is really well used, you know, multiplying 8 by 8 by 8. So let's type here 8. I can like do that as well. 8 plus 8, 16, you know, 16 plus 8. I am multiplying. I'm using sum, but the point you got me, like when I'm working with interfaces, it's good to use measures like 8, 16, 24, 32, and so on, right? Multiplying 8 by 8 by 8 by 8. So let's suppose that I want to have a space here like 32. That might be good. I will use this blue color like I used before. Opacity of 32. Can you see that 32 here? This spacing system. I used 32 here, and I used it here as well. 32. That was the reason. 32. Same one. And let's suppose that I don't want text to transpass this space. This is the margin. All right. This margin. All right, I can have a margin here, in here as well. Let's suppose 32. I can take this shape. I will type here width 32. I will place it here. You know, margin. Here the same one. I will copy and paste. I will move, and upper, same thing. Let's suppose that we have this margin. So this is a margin, all right? Margin, don't forget margin. Margin is different of padding, because while padding is internal, margin is external, all right? So I could have, for instance, margin over here, like I show it like 32, for instance. Right? And I don't want anything trespassing, any text, nothing will trespass like this. All right? So I just want to have this top margin. So I will type here margin top 32. Why that? You can ask, like, Marcus, why is that? What the hell is that? Because it's like together the margin, you know, we have no space left, we have no space right, we have no space bottom. So this reason I will just have a margin top, right? I really believe that you got my point. So I just demonstrated this margin here, you know, left and right and top as well. I just demonstrated, but I'm talking about this component, these Android navigation bars. So we are going to have only this top margin, okay? So let's go ahead, we are there. So I have these properties, okay? So I have many properties. Let's see what more we have. Like this. All right. So this this atom is really specified. Its properties are well set. If a developer will like get our static design and build up an application, he can look to this specification of UI design and be sure the way you expect that interface to be coded. So let's talk now about this back button, this icon. The color will be the same, like 00000. So hashtag 1 2 3 4 5 6. Opacity 100%. Stroke none to size and none to color. So none. Width, let's see, 24 by 24. So width will be 24, height 24 as well. Padding, I don't know, let's think something like 24. Let's try. If that will not be good, we can change in the future, right? So I need more space, and let me tell you, it's not the only truth. The way I'm explaining, it's correct, and there are people explaining slightly different, and they are right as well. So there is no just one way to do things. This is the way that I do, the way that people in the places I have worked, they used to do. So padding for these components, I will type like none, because there is no other atoms inside of these atoms. So just like that, padding none. And now talking about margins, let's have margin top, then margin right, margin left, margin bottom. So we have margin bottom. I said like 24. Let's try 24. If 24 doesn't work, we can try 16, for instance. So we have this one. And I will use the same properties to all the other icons, all the other atoms, because they are similar. They are almost the same. Really, really, really closer. So let's organize a little bit. I will select all of those things. You can see this little blue icon here. If I click here, they will be organized. The space between them will be the same. And I can come here and just move a little bit to have less space, more space between them. And I can come here as well and type like 24, 32, and I will have these spaces between them. 40, that can work as well. All right, so I have the properties. And now it's time to create finally this space. But I would like to change because the color will not be black. To have contrast, the color will be white. So here we have to change. I'm not talking about the container, this large rectangle. I'm talking about the buttons. So let's see how we can change that. I just click here. I open this space for color. I just click here. I click, hold, and drag to the white color. White is F, 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 right? I can copy, Control C, I come here, Control V. I will do the same here, Control V, because I did the copy once, and I can paste forever. If I press and hold Control, I can click here. I'm sorry, if I press and hold Shift, I can click here and I click here. Having both of them together, I can change their color just at once. All they are white now. So now that I have documented the properties, I will just change. I will just actually I will teach you how to build up that. So we are going to start with the container. To do the container, we come here, click here, just click, hold and drag, whatever size, doesn't matter. Then we will change here like 320 for 48. Same one, see here. 32048. The color is 000000. So we are going to open here. We can move it here or just come here and type 000000. Press enter. Okay. It's quite okay. Quite okay. Then let's have this white icon. We come here, polygon, just click and draw, or whatever size, doesn't matter, like I said before, because we have to set these properties like width and height. 24 by 24, so let's go there, 24 by 24. And we have to rotate, click here, then we will move our mouse around to this anchor point, press and hold shift. We are gonna move 15 degrees in 15 degrees. That's right. Now the color FF. Doesn't matter, small caps, all the same. When we draw this polygon, we can change like this thing, having more parts, you know, but we are not going to use that. What I need, it is to change this thing here. Like I have this box around and I don't want to have this box around. So I will just right button, and then I will like click here, flatten. Can you see the difference? Let me show you. Because here I still can do this thing like having many points. But when I click right button and then flatten, I can't do that anymore. And the size is different. Can you see that here? Now it's 18 by 20.78, and here 24 by 24. And now I have to change that here. 24 by 24. Now it's right. I can as well, let's suppose that I want to increase or decrease. I can click here to constrain the proportions, and then I can change like here 16. I don't need anymore to click here and to change here. Like if I change width, I don't have to change height anymore. All right, so let's delete this one. All right, and then I said that this container have paddings, like internally this space. So how can I measure that? There are many ways. I'm gonna show you one way. I could like do that, like click here, you know, and place it here. That would be perfect, you know. 16 by 16. I said that it would be this icon would be 24, but 16, it's better, you know. It's better, much better. 16. All right, it fits perfectly. But if I want to have like 24 for this icon, if I change it here, I will need to change all the container size, because I have to do a thing like this one, you know, to have the spacing system working well. So this shape now will be 56, right? So it is up to you. You decide. I'm gonna go with 16. 16 for me, it's better. It's much more better. All right. So 16. So like I was saying before, I have to change the size here, like width 16, height 16 for all icons, width 16, height 16, the last one, width 16, height 16. Now it's okay. So I could have something like this, or there is other way that I like. I will bring the shape here. I will just move around, and then I will zoom in a little bit. I will press Alt. When I select the shape that I want, then I press Alt and I point to the other shape, I can see the distance. Can you see that as well? 16 upper, 16 lower, and here 21. I just keep my Alt hold, you know. I selected this shape, then I move it around, and I will keep my Alt hold, and then I will go to my keyboard and left arrow, sometimes 16 as well, you know. So it's perfect now. 16 upper, lower, and to the left. So let's see our guides. We have a guide here. Let's see the container padding 16. So let's compare. Here it's telling that it has to be 16 on the top. So 16, that's right. it is telling that 16 right. I have no other icon in the right side, so it's okay, no problem. Down, bottom, 16, bottom actually, not bottom, bottom 16. And then left 16 as well, so everything is right here. Okay, that's just perfect. So now let's go to the next one. We have to draw, but here I'm telling that I have margins, but actually I'm not considering the icon margins, you know? I'm not considering that. Not to be honest, I'm not considering. I'm considering the padding, you know? And then this icon will be aligned to the left, you know? It's good to document here, to write here. So the margins, I explained what margins are, but I'm not using margins, so I will just let one and I will type none. But I will include something here like alignment. Is that right? Alignment. I think so. Alignment left because it is in the left side, right? Yeah, I will copy this part, padding none, margin none, no, margin none to here as well. Now that's correct, margin none, alignment left. I will copy, I will go to the next icon, no margins, margin none, like this one. Same one, but here it's not left, it's center, right? So let's draw this icon. I said that it's gonna be 16 by 16, white, opacity 100%, no stroke and no stroke color. I click here, then ellipse, then I draw whatever size, whatever color, then I come here, 16 by 16, and I change its color to FF. And then I will place it here, and then I will have this padding 16 by 16. And now to align center, I will click here, I will move, and when I see this red vertical line, it means that I am in the center. This vertical one, I am in the center vertically and horizontally. That's okay. 16 by 16, top and bottom. That's perfect. And then the last icon, finally the last icon, I have to delete it here, and I will paste alignment, but now this alignment is right. Okay, so I have to have this icon 16 by 16, width and height, white 100%, no stroke color. Click here, rectangle, draw whatever size, whatever color, then 16 by 16. Like I said before, we can then constrain the proportions, because if you have to change its size, it will be proportional. All right, so 16 by 16, and FF 1 2 3 4 5 6, enter. And then we have to click and move. We already know how to move around, like zoom in, zoom out, space bar, to, you know, have this pen to scroll our desk. Then we have to place it here, 16 top, 16 bottom. We have to align it to the right size. We can press Alt, click here, point to the black, and then keyboard, left arrow, many times, holding the Alt to see 16 by 16 by 16. That is perfect. And this way we have our Android navigation bar. It's important to name the layers correctly. So click here. It's named rectangle. We can have the same name like container, for instance. Container will be good. Then we have this back button. We can call that back button or icon. I will call back button. Then we have here the home button. Home button. I'm not putting the names like icons. I'm putting names of the actions. When I press these buttons, what action is expected? I'm naming this way. And the last one we can call recent items button. Recent items button. Now I will click out of all these shapes. I will right click, and I will hold and I will cover all of them. After, I will press Ctrl G to group, and then I will call this group Android navigation bar and press enter. So I can open this little arrow, and I'm gonna see all the things I did, like this one, this one, this one, and this one. So let's see the order. The order is a pile, these layers are like a pile. So the first thing I did is a container. It's under. Then inside, not inside, but on it, I have back button. Then after the back button, the home button, and last I have the recent items button. So I have this Android navigation bar, really easy to do. And just to finish it, this one is older, just to show you. Now I will delete, and I will place this one here. And you can ask me, Marcus, what is that? What is this white, this blank page? How can I do that as well? It's really simple. We come here, it's named frame. We open here, click on frame, and then here besides we have many sizes to do our frames. We have phones, tablets, desktops, presentation, watch, paper, social media, and so on. The right sizes to do the designs you need. I will open here phone. I will go to iPhone SE. The smaller screen to a mobile we have. Just click here, and we will have this iPhone SE screen. Then we can click here and move to the place we want, and the name we can change here as well. Like, let's suppose that this page is named home. It's the home of our application. Press enter. Then I will click here to move to our new screen, our new frame, and I will delete this older one. So we have here our finally made our first frame, our first screen, our first component. Let's remember, this is I have here one atom, one atom, one atom, and one atom behind all of them. Together, these atoms, they made a molecule, like I explained before. So this tutorial is too long. I don't want to be longer here. I just want to show you this little and very first tutorial about Figma that I do. I really hope that you expect this tutorial. If you have some tips, some doubt or whatever thing, just drop me a line below in the comments that it would be good to answer you. Thank you for watching my video. I hope to see you in the next one, and bye.